welcome back to Shall You Proceed with me, Erlene, aka Elise Main. This is episode number 17. I'm excited today. It's going to be a great show. I'm closing out October, which is a month about surviving and survivors. But before we get going, you know what to do. Click on the link, share the post, have a watch party, let people know what we're talking about today, because I have the amazing, the beautiful, the everything, Miss Kimberly Ann, with me here today.
Oh boy, who is that?
Who is she, right? And she'll be talking about her journey to a whole new life and a whole new you. But like I said, before we get going, follow me on all my platforms, share this post, go to my website, find me on Spotify and Apple and Google and iHeartRadio and SoundCloud, IG, follow, share. And also share this link, have a watch party. It's going to be some good stuff happening today, okay? That's the thing you have to do. So let's get started. Miss Kimberly Ann.
Yes,
Author, mother,
wow,
motivational speaker, healthcare professional. You have 2 master's degrees.
I really do.
I mean, you something kind of you something like a pimp. Something like a pimp. Wrote a book called Restored. You have your website. You did motivational speaking. Amazing mother of 3.
Yeah, well, I like to say 2.5. We can get into that. We can get into it. We can get into it.
And you're an amazing friend. You're not a Houston native, from Seattle, Washington.
Thank you.
So that lets you
Go
know
Hawks.
right there
Go Hawks.
who she roots for. Right? That lets you know right there. So please, I can't do you justice. So please tell everyone who you are and what's going on with you, who you are.
I am, like you said, I am Kimberly Ann. That's what I go by. Either Kimberly Ann, just Kim. Like you said, I am an author, healthcare professional. And what I brag about, I'm a woman of God, as people like to say.
Yes,
but I also
are.
am a survivor and a mother. So I love what I do. I love helping people, love working with people, encouraging people, and I'm excited to be here.
I'm excited to have you.
Thank you for letting me show up and
yes.
Sit in one of these chairs and chat with you.
Like I tell people all the time, I didn't do this to have like the celebrity. I wanted to have people that I am motivated by and I love and I care about, and that I know personally, that I know have things to say.
Right.
And we hear from people all the time who have their own platforms.
Right.
But why not take my little bitty platform and bring on people that I know who have opinions, who are amazing.
I love it.
Influencers in their own right, and let them speak on what they want to talk about. I
love it.
So you're so humble, and you said so little about yourself. But the reason why you're here is because you have survived what many may never have to endure. Not 1 time, but 2 times.
Right. And I don't want anybody to have to endure.
Right.
To be totally honest.
Because when I approached you about it to be on the show was a long time ago, weeks ago.
Right.
And that was after you were like done with your first round. Like, I'm done.
Right.
And like, hey, in the inbox, I gotta let you know, I'm back in treatment. I'm like, but you're still coming on though. Like, I'm you're still coming on though.
I just wanted to let you know I may look a little different. I didn't know. I'm going, chemo, radiation. It does everyone's body a little bit differently.
It does.
And I just wanted to be like really honest and
right. I understand
open,
it.
Which I have been. I've been very.
You're very open. I love it.
Yeah.
You have a YouTube channel. You talk about it all the time. You post about it all the time, which is really encouraging. Everyone doesn't have that openness to talk about a struggle.
Right.
So to let everyone know, in case you're not aware, Miss Kim, my boo, okay?
Yes, sunshine.
My boo. She is a survivor of cervical cancer. And if you don't know what that is, it is, we hear about October and cancer awareness, and you hear about breasts, you hear about ovarian, you hear about all these things, but we don't really focus on certain ones because people think, oh, you can't treat cervical cancer. Oh, I won't worry about it. And these things come up from my own research when you have to, your yearly checks that you find out about that. But there's also symptoms of bleeding, After sex, you can have bleeding.
That's correct.
Longer menstrual cycles, bleeding after your exam, and we look over those things.
Yeah.
You know,
like abnormal cramping.
yes, and then
like,
pain, pain, and that it can be and it can spread, and people tend to think I have it. Oh, it's abnormal cells. It's no big deal.
That's right.
We won't go back and look into it. So let everyone know what you were going through. You went for your yearly checkup. What you did not do when you found out you had, issues, and what made you seek your treatment.
Well, what happened was, and what year are we in?
We're in 2019.
Sure, 2019. Okay, help me. I'm 44. In actually the end of 2017, I was having some issues.
Okay.
And my friend, Rosa, was like, you need to go and get checked. And my friend Amber had been telling me to go get checked, and I was like, I'm going. And finally I went on and went. When I went in, had an abnormal pap. My doctor said, we'll come back in 3 months, we'll do a biopsy. Okay, no problem. He said it probably will correct itself. Went back in 3 months, which was February of 2018. And he looked at me and said, baby girl, you have cervical cancer. And I almost fell off the table. I was like, wait, what you mean? He said, I believe it's treatable. We're going to go ahead and get you in. So I went, and it was the fastest thing that ever went on in my life. And people that know me know that I'm usually in control. I like to be in control of things. That was the one time that I was like, okay, I don't even know what to do. So I went to the oncologist. They're like, okay, yes, you do have cervical cancer. We're sending you to surgery in 3 weeks. I was went to scans to surgery. I had a radical hysterectomy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so my cervix was removed, reproduction removed.
Everything.
Yes. So I do have my ovaries, but everything else was removed.
Now, let me pause you really quickly because, you admitted you're a control freak.
I am.
Okay. And
I'm just going to be honest.
Yeah, I think a lot of us are. And we have routines. We're at a certain age, we have routines in life.
That's
so I'm doing my thing. I'm getting my body checked. I'm doing what I have to do.
That's right.
And you get hit with a slap in your face, and they tell you, oh, it'll clear up. Let's, whatever. And then now, no, you have it. Not abnormal cells. No. Let's keep an eye on it.
That's right.
You have it. Okay, now surgery in 3 weeks, and your life is changing.
Right.
Are you breathing? How are you?
I was crying initially,
right,
of course, and I go get in the car. I make a couple phone calls. I go back to work. I went. He told me, he was like, "Hey, you need to come in." And when a doctor tells you need to come in to tell you something, it's usually not that great.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Well, sweet baby Jesus," but okay. And I go back to work. And I remember sitting there, and one of my staff came up to me and said, "Hey, how did your doctor's appointment go?" I said, I have cervical cancer, and I'm going to have surgery. Hey, did you get that document signed? They started crying. I was like, well, I got to keep moving. And they looking at me like, wait.
So you didn't give yourself to process.
No.
So when did you process it? When did you actually make yourself stop and process what was happening to you?
I think for me, it was really when I had to, really the day I went in for surgery, because everything else was very routine for me. I was just going to the doctor and, okay, I have this. But I was controlling everything. So remember that.
Yeah.
So when they whisked me into the operating room and they have set me up with my IV, and I'm like, I can't control what's going on in that room.
No.
I have to truly, truly believe that this man, this surgeon, is going to go into my body, take out this cancer, And so I'm just like, oh my God. So
it was the day of surgery
Yes.
that you was having your bug out moment.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then it was a weird time to have it, because I don't know if you've ever had anesthesia before, but
Yeah.
trying to cry and focus and you falling asleep is just a weird thing. And
You're
so you
fighting against. You can't do that.
listen, and then you have a tear coming down, but you can't wipe it because you can't move your arms. It's a mess. It's a mess. It's a mess.
There's a lot going on.
It's a lot going on.
So let me ask you this. So because you're just going through your routine.
Yeah, correct.
And you find out you're having your womanhood taken out of your body, basically.
Yes.
How do you process that? Even though I know you're probably saying, I'm done with kids. I'm done, right?
Well,
but still,
it's
not your choice now to stop, right? And then how do you break it to your family that I have cancer? Not that I have some abnormal things going on. We're doing some treatment. No, I have cancer to the point where I have to have surgery, and then I have to have treatment. So how do you break it to your kids and your family and those you love that you're going through a major life change? Because you're the control freak now.
Yes.
Which means probably you're the caretaker. You're the one who gets everything. And now you have to slightly sit your behind down.
That's right.
And be taken care of. So how did you do that?
I started with telling my core group.
Okay.
So I have a core group of friends that I can tell anything.
As we all need. Yes.
I have the core group that will tell me when I'm wrong, support me, and I told them first. Which included like my sisters, my brother, my ex. Hey, I got his kids. I'm just saying.
You gotta tell him.
And I had some close friends, and I told them initially. I told them what was going on, and they knew when I was going for scans. Hey, yes, this is. I am going for surgery. I met with my doctor. I had my friend Rosa. My friend Rosa went with me to every doctor's appointment.
That's beautiful. You had someone with you,
right?
Yeah.
And Sean, who is my ex, he was at every doctor. They were right there, and that helped. That helped a lot. And I was only telling a close group of people up until like when I found out for sure, got my scans back. I knew what because I was staged at 1B. For cancer. So once I got the staging back and I got my surgery date, which was March 5th, that's when I told the rest of like my family. I told my children. It was very difficult. My son was like, "Mom, you're gonna lose your hair?" I'm like, "I wear wigs. It just focus." That's what.
Oh my God. Focus. Yes.
So the plus side was that they believed that it was going to be treatable. So I think it was.
They were all positive.
Yes.
Yeah.
So even my physicians were more positive, and so that helped me to be more positive about what I needed to do. So going up to surgery, I told a little bit more people. So I still was controlling it. Not until I made it home from surgery is when I actually made a post on Facebook and let the world know, hey.
Yeah.
That's how you feel?
I was like,
yeah.
What?
I did that.
You did that?
I did.
Yeah.
Because I knew that it would be an emotional thing for me.
Right.
And because I'm already this ball of emotions that I try to control on a daily basis, I just didn't want people asking me a billion questions. My ex already was saying, "You got a nasty woman's disease," and so I had to correct him on that because he didn't know what HPV was.
I need him not.
Yeah,
I need folks to just.
I use some point supporters. That's what I like. That's what I like to call
color purple. Got the just stop.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah.
That would piss me off.
Yeah, I was mad. I was
Yeah,
mad.
yeah.
I was very angry. But I had to do my own research and to be able to. So now one of my missions is to make sure that people understand cervical cancer, HPV, co-testing, That's so important to me.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what it was. But if you've had sex, 9 times out of 10, you have HPV. 2 of those strands may be connected to cervical cancer. And so knowing your status is so important.
very
And
important.
just like they talk about bullets don't have a name, it's like this cancer doesn't either.
No.
And so you have to really, really pay attention to
And I think
your
it's
body.
with this particular cancer, they say everything is either hereditary. Who had cancer in your family? And
That's right.
This is the one doesn't have to be in your family.
No.
Like you said, if you've been sexually active, you are prone to have
Yes.
this. It's simple of just taking care of yourself, getting your checkups and
That's
just checking
right.
things, because if you've had sex, you're prone to have it. Plain
Yeah.
and simple.
Yeah.
And it's about educating yourself. People tend not
Absolutely.
to educate themselves on so many things, and it doesn't have to be in your family.
Right.
We know that with other cancers now, people have lung cancer who never smoked a day in their life.
Right.
So let's be educate yourself.
Please.
And I was doing my research, and I know that they were saying that this is different than having other stages. Like you had 1B. They were saying this can be either localized, regional. Localized means there's no spread.
Right.
And regional means it's in one area, but it has spread.
That's right.
And there was another one. What was it called?
Metastasized?
Yes. So what did you have?
Mine was localized.
Okay.
Both times.
Yeah, we won't get into that. You
Yeah.
was 2 times.
You don't have to act like that. Just treat
Am
me
I
nice.
being hostile?
I'm sensitive. I'm sensitive. People don't notice this sometimes, but I have to let people know I'm sensitive.
I'm just, so aggressive. Yes, ma'am. Yes. So you had localized. No, yours was yours spread. No, yours was localized.
It was considered localized.
Okay,
so my
good.
1B was localized.
Okay.
The first on my first time that it was identified.
So let's
Yes.
pause. So this was 2018.
Okay.
So your surgery was in March. So you said you found out like in February when you found out?
February.
So, that was.
Yeah.
So that means you had it for quite some time for it to be full on cancer.
Right. Because the thing is that it does go through stages like what you were saying, the cells, and they can see that they'll freeze, and there's so many different things that you can go through. But mine, and I had an abnormal pap years ago,
And
like probably in my early 20s.
If you get yourself checked, as you should, I think we all at some point have experienced an abnormal pap or will.
Right.
And you freak out and they say, "Oh, you're fine."
Yep.
So you hear that enough, you don't make it, okay, I'm fine, it's no big deal.
That's right.
It's normal, because they always tell you it's normal to have abnormal pap. It can
Absolutely.
be anything. When it really is not. You should worry. You should go further and check those things out.
Yeah.
So you had surgery in March 2018. They removed your cervix.
Right.
You still had your ovary. You still have your ovaries.
Yes.
So you're thinking surgery, then you have to go into chemo and radiation, correct? After surgery?
I was told to.
But you didn't.
No.
Okay. That's why I got an attitude. Okay? So don't let her fool you with handle me, be careful with me. No. That's the reason why, because we've had this conversation.
This is true.
So you
still
had
sunshine though.
You still my boo, but whatever. So 2018, you have surgery.
That's right.
Because you have cervical cancer. I can't say it. Y'all can't speak. You have surgery. You were told to now go through your chemo and radiation.
Yes.
And you did not.
No.
So you went home, you healed up, and went on with life.
Wait a minute. There are other things there. There's something
Okay,
in the
fill it
middle.
in. Fill it
Something
in.
in the middle. Okay.
But before you fill it in, this is what you see. This is what you should not do. You don't just
Don't
go
do it.
home.
Don't do it.
Okay,
but
so go ahead.
Okay, but truly, honestly, and what ended up happening? I went back to the doctor and for my checkup.
Okay.
He told me, of course, the day of surgery, he was like, the surgery was a success. We removed everything.
Mm-hmm.
What ended up happening? I had some cancer cells, and they said about 200 cancer cells. Now, to us, that sounds like a lot, but if you scratch your arm, it's about 2,500 cells that you get from a scratch.
Okay.
He said he was unsure. It was a gray area, meaning he's unsure if the cancer cells were still there. If they moved, it was unsure. He had to take it before a board of doctors.
Oh, okay.
To make a determination
Mm-hmm.
if this cancer, if this particular these cells were something that needed to be treated with chemo and radiation. So after about 3 to 4 weeks, he contacts me back and he says, "Hey, you need to go through chemo and radiation." I started the process.
Okay.
I had to go through it was the insurance wars.
Oh.
I had to go to a PCP, and I don't go to a PCP. So I had to go find a PCP because I doctor on myself. So I had to go to a PCP, try to get a referral to the radiation oncologist. What they were having, the insurance was saying they didn't know if I was supposed to have radiation and chemo. So they're having to call back my surgeon.
Okay.
I said, you know what, don't worry about it. I'm going to believe God that I'm healed. I was wrong. I know. So I just didn't go back. My friends were checking up on me and was like, "Hey, have you been back to the doctor?" And I was like, "I'm going." So in November
2018,
mm-hmm. I went back to the doctor, and my doctor was like, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Well, I never came back for a checkup." He was like, "Okay, what did you do? What's going on?" And I didn't do anything. And he was like, "Okay, we need to schedule you for a scan." He scheduled me for a scan in November of 2018. Mm-hmm. The insurance said that they didn't believe that I needed this scan.
That's crazy.
I've already had cancer. The cancer was removed. You don't need the scan. So I was like, okay. So we're fighting back and forth.
Right.
The doctor's office is fighting back and forth.
Which is exhausting.
Yeah. So
Absolutely.
I threw my hands up. I gave up again. I said, okay, God, I must be healed or something. My friends kept on like, you need to go back. So I went back in March of 2019.
1 year after surgery.
Yes.
Okay.
My doctor talked very aggressive to me. He's the only doctor I have that is like, hey. And I was crying at this point. I said, I don't want to have chemo and radiation. And his statement to me was, do you want to die?
And let me pause you real quick, because you need someone like that.
I do.
You needed someone. You needed your professional to be that way. You didn't need someone to handle you real, because. Yeah. But I also understand the battle with blessing that you have insurance, because so many don't have it, right?
Lord,
we're blessed to have it.
Yeah.
And can you imagine trying to go through that and not have medical care?
Right.
But to have it and you're paying for it, and you telling me, I don't think you need it.
Right.
So now I have to fight for treatment.
Right.
I can understand being discouraged. I can understand saying, let me throw my hands. I can understand that. And I think a lot of people go through that. So, I mean, I'm giving you a hard time because I'm giving you a hard time. But I understand.
No, a lot of people didn't even know that part, because you know me, I'm very closed when it comes to my personal business. So for this journey, for me to be very open, was a difficult one for me. But it was one that I believed. If I believe that I can be helpful to someone, then I'm going to. So a lot of times I will share things that other people look at me and be like, why did she even tell anybody that? Well, I'm doing it because I really want you to win. I tell people that all the time. They'll look at me and say, like, did you just tell me? Yeah, I did, because I want you to win. My desire is for you to win. For real. And
the beautiful thing about your personality, and what I like what you're doing with your platform, sharing the struggles and the journey and the highs and lows. Many would go into a shell and be mad because they were okay and I wasn't.
Yeah.
Theirs was smooth, mine wasn't. But the fact of the matter is, you're using it as a talking point, a lesson of, listen, this is what I did. Smart, unsmart, whatever it may be. Here's my struggle. So, hey, find out. Because with that, what you're telling me is, let me call my insurance and see what's covered. Yeah. Let me call my insurance and see what test can I have? What do I have with my coverage I'm paying? We just tend to pay, think we never get sick. You don't worry about it till the bottom drops, and you need the coverage. Reminds me of John Q, the movie with the young boy needing the heart.
Yes.
I have insurance. What you mean? What
exactly.
Well, you don't have this one corner of a. What are you talking about? So, and I think we need to educate ourselves on beyond just paying your monthly premium.
Absolutely.
And those regular checkups and the perks. They tell you the perks.
Yeah.
It's what under those perks. So that fine print when it gets to specialists and treatment and all those things. So I commend you for using your voice and using your lows and highs and lows to educate others. And I'll stop giving you a hard time.
Thank you.
For a few more minutes.
Jesus.
A few more minutes. So March, you're a year later.
Right.
You haven't had any radiation.
No.
Any chemotherapy.
No.
Battling insurance companies.
Right.
Your doctor tells you straight up, what the hell are you doing?
Absolutely.
And so we need to run a scan. We need to have tests. You're still battling insurance company to get these things done. So, but you get it done.
I get it done in April, beginning of April.
Okay.
Of 2019.
Yes, 2019.
And so they give me one scan. It's some abnormalities there. I know it's abnormalities. They need to do a PET scan now. The insurance company is giving me a hard time.
Again.
In the midst of that, I lose my job April 29th.
Shut up.
Yes. So I lose my job and I'm scheduled for my PET scan May of 2019.
Oh, and insurance is only good for 30 days after you lose your job?
Well, I'm blessed.
Okay.
I'm blessed.
Okay.
So I got some insurance.
Okay.
Got some insurance.
Okay.
God is good.
Yeah. All the
So I go in, but I don't know job though.
Oh, hey, listen.
So it's some co-pays and things that are involved in this. So,
yes.
But I've made a decision. I said, you know what? I was so busy with my job. I had a big job. I was a director over 3 areas. I was busy over about 400 employees, 42 direct reports. Your girl was doing some stuff.
Yeah.
So I realized that this pause, or like I say, comma, it's not a period, it's a comma.
Yes.
Was something for me to do. I needed to do some things. So got the PET scan, they called me and was like, hey, by the way, this is financial with Methodist Hospital. They sound so happy. And like, well, we just want to figure out how you're going to take care of your copay today. I said, well, how much is it? It's $1,900. I said, oh. Ma'am, sweet pea pumpkin. Honey, look. Just a mere $1,900.
I have no job.
I'm
walking on true faith right now. Listen.
I said, is there someone else I can speak with? Because I don't have $1,900. I barely had the money to pay my mortgage. I'm gonna need you.
Right. Yes.
So we get through that. I get my scans done. My doctors are surprised because, again, my cancer has literally, which this doesn't happen. My cancer moved from the right side to the left side, didn't touch anything in the middle. So now it's localized again
somewhere else
on the right side, which is not, they consider it metastasized at times when it moves, but the fact that it affects all the other areas
as it's moving.
There you go.
But it didn't, it just hopped.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know it's strange, but it's okay. So I go in and what made me start the YouTube channel was because here I'm going through this process, right?
Yes.
And I go because I said, you know what? I'm going to get this treatment. I'm talking to my doctor. He said, Kim, you want to be here for your children. And I said, you know what? I do.
Yeah, you do.
I really, really do. And so I said, okay, God, I'm going to go do this. So I go and I see the radiologist.
Okay.
And my radiologist tells me for us to do the best job that we can, I believe that we should remove the tumor and then you come back and have radiation and chemo. Sweet pea.
Surgery again.
So I almost kicked the doctor, the physician, away from me. I'm crying.
Yes.
I'm upset. I said, you know what? I don't want to do nothing. I done canceled the chemo appointment. I canceled it.
So you
said,
had a tantrum.
Listen, I did.
I understand.
Full-fledged.
Yeah.
I was cute though.
Always.
Always cute.
Always.
Flawless, baby.
Yes. Yes.
But
yes,
I don't want
yes.
to. I don't want to.
Yeah.
So my doctor, the one that talks aggressive with me, called me on his cell phone. He said, "Excuse me, get up here." So I got to go meet with him. He said, "Listen."
Yeah.
I said, "I need for you all to talk to each other. Because you're telling me one thing, he's telling me another. Y'all need to have a conversation." And I meant that. He's like, "Kim, I got it." So I was like, okay. So from there, and now the man, he's so nice. So every time I see the radiologist, I'm like, I'm having to be sweet to him. So I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
But I think that happens a lot where and I think that's why a lot of people get over medicated.
Yeah.
And because like my dad sees his general, he has a neurologist, he has someone else.
Yeah.
And this one want to change this, but the blessing is his doctor's like, wait a minute, they want to change, you want to add something for you, let's do this.
Right.
But if they're not communicating with each other,
Yeah.
you're treating this, you're treating that, but then there's no
Yeah.
commingling. Let's have a conversation.
Right.
And it may cause you more harm than good.
Well, and I told the radiologist, I don't trust you. I don't know you. They referred me to you. I don't know you.
Yeah.
I did say that. You know I said it.
I know. I know you did. I know
I did.
You did. Yes.
Yeah. And, you know, thank God there is a silver lining to certain things, but it really was, you have to be with people that you actually trust.
Yeah.
So it's after that, I listened to that's my gen oncologist, and then I have to go back to the radiation oncologist, and then I got to go to the chemo oncologist.
It's a lot, Kim.
Yeah. So when I meet with the chemo oncologist, because, hey, I'm ready to go, I understand what I need to do, I got this. The chemo oncologist tells me, hey, sweetheart, this is what we're going to do. You got to get a port put in, though. A port? A port of what? What do you mean? Well, and I tend to say things like, treat me like I'm new.
Like, give me layman terms.
Yes. What you mean?
Yeah.
What, you just a minor surgery?
Oh, another one.
So I'm emo. Like, what do you mean a minor surgery? I don't want surgery.
Yeah.
So now I'm scheduled to have a port put in.
I know that the one who's doing your radiation wants to go in and remove the tumor. Did that happen?
No.
Okay, so
I did not have
okay,
that.
so that
didn't happen.
Okay, good.
They met with the team of doctors, and they decided that was not necessary. They said, hey, it's the tumor small enough. You don't require that. Chemo and radiation, they actually reduced the amount of radiation that he was wanting to do.
Good.
As far as the strength. They said the tumor's small, you don't need to do that. So I had the port put in, and I started with my chemo and my radiation, and chemo will kick your entire tailbone.
Yeah.
Radiation is difficult. I went through 7 weeks of it, and I will honestly say by week 3, I was like, you know what? I can't want it, as my daughter would say.
I can't want it.
I can't want it.
So you did 7 weeks of chemo and radiation, which is 2 different treatments, people. Not
That,
just
right.
That's separate.
Right.
So
well, it was it's 6 weeks. I'll be honest. It was 6 weeks of chemo, so it was 1 a week. I did have some issues with my chemo, so that I was off a week from chemo, but it was 7 weeks, 5 days a week of radiation.
So that's the one that you're going 5 days
every day
for 7 weeks.
There you go.
And then you only did 1 day a week for your chemo.
That's correct.
Wow. And the chemo was the one you said that really.
It's it makes you very nauseated. You're very tired. It goes in to attack the cancer cells, but it's attacking every cell in your body. So that's good and bad.
Right.
With me, it is a little bit different because of the size of my tumor. This is the only way I can explain it. The radiation was the major.
Right.
And so I like to say it was the drink,
Mm-hmm.
and the chemo was the floater. It's the Grand Marnier.
Yeah. Which we love. Okay.
I mean, hey. So it was, and what they tell you is that the chemo will make the radiation work better.
Okay.
And so that's why I had to have both of them. There are women that are only receiving chemo or only receiving radiation. So I was receiving both. And then on days that I had chemo, I would have to go over and have radiation or vice versa. And they had to change my chemo mid-treatment because the chemo that I had was messing with my kidneys. So it was lowering my kidney function. So it was a lot. That's why.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah, that's why I said people really do not realize when you're looking at someone that is going through cancer, you just don't realize how much they're actually
what they're going through. Absolutely.
Because you're like, hey, you strong, girl, get it. I'm like, Jesus.
Because I remember when I asked you to be on the show was before you even started that I'm aware of that you had to go through treatment again.
Right.
And you were like, I'm not sure how I'm going to look. And I was like, you still going to come on the show? So
yeah, you did say that.
I'm aggressive. So tell everyone now how long you've been off of both of them. Now you are done with chemo and done radiation.
Yes.
You
rang the bell. Yes.
Yes. How long now?
It has been actually, we're 3 weeks.
That's awesome.
Is it 3 weeks?
Yeah, I think
it's 3 weeks.
You
I think 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I rang the bell.
Yeah.
If it's not 3 weeks, we'll go. Okay, this may be going into my 3rd week.
So, right now, you are in remission.
Well, I don't know that yet.
When will you find that out?
6 weeks after treatment, you go in for your scans, and that's when I find out. I did have the doctor to look at, because they take pictures every time you go for radiation.
Okay.
I don't know if people know that or not, but every time you go in for radiation, they line you up so that they can do the radiation in the same area.
Okay.
So they're every time they go. And when they're lining you up, they're taking pictures to ensure that they're lining you up in the same exact area. So I asked to see the pictures, you know me, control freak that I am. And because I was like, I'm concerned. Like, what if I keep coming? Because there are people that go to radiation and chemo and they're like, hey, well, oops, it grew. Yeah. Yeah. So for me, and because I'm in groups, my friends told me that I need to get out those groups because I was going crazy. And I was like, because
yeah.
So you're watching what other people are going through.
Yeah.
And I asked to see the pictures, and so he's showing me. And so on the unofficial pictures, and that was about when I was about 9 more treatments. The lymph node was almost gone. Like you barely could find it on the pictures. So the treatment is doing what it's supposed to do. And the reason why I said is doing, because 4 to 6 weeks after your treatment, your body is still in treatment mode.
Okay.
So it's still working.
So
what do you have
to do? So now you're not going for chemo, you're not going for radiation.
Yeah.
But your body is still working in your
body. So you're still having the side effects.
Yeah. But what has changed in your life now that you're still, because you're still in treatment then, right?
Basically, your body's still in treatment.
Do you have to eat differently, do anything differently? How's your energy? Has it come back up? Because I'm not around you every day ever. So I don't know how your energy level has changed. So what are you doing now?
I'm tired a lot, but chemo has taken a lot of my the magnesium level. So people that don't know, magnesium is what causes you to have good energy.
Okay.
When your magnesium is low, that's when you're very tired. You're sluggish. My magnesium is low, but my appetite is not where it should be. I know that I'm in the sexy club. I will not call myself fat.
Amen.
I shall not.
And we won't allow it.
Thank you. So, but my appetite is not where it should be. Okay. So I do have to use supplements such as Ensure or Boost to make sure that I have the right nutrients. Just trying to eat healthy. I am having the side effects. And so those side effects are sometimes nausea. sometimes vomiting, diarrhea, constipation. You have all those different things.
Right.
The heartburn. Like you can have. At one time, I had all of the symptoms at one time. I said, "Well, my God, today, listen, listen, all of them together." I said, "Sweet Jesus."
I'm not laughing. It's the way you said it,
Girl.
because my heart dropped. I'm thinking I can't do all that in one day.
All of it.
Oh.
One day. I was like, "Is this a combo platter?"
That's
I
why
felt like
that's why that comma happened. That's why the pause happened, because you couldn't do
girl.
all that.
I said it was all of it.
Yes.
All of it. I said, "Oh my God." And I went in, and this was, I promise you, this was the Monday before I rang the bell. Every side effect that I could have,
You had it.
I said, "Oh my goodness, if I was a poker player, I think I got a full deck." It was a mess. I was like, Jesus, why? And I wanted to, again, quit. I said,
Yeah.
"I don't want to do this no more."
But Kim,
Yes,
so
but I made it.
you're a motivational speaker.
I am.
You
Do you feel
are-
motivated today?
I feel very motivated today.
Okay.
You've written a book,
I did.
Restored. This is before everything.
Yes.
And you were on the mountaintop encouraging
Yes.
people not to quit. All these
Yes.
things.
Yes.
But you were so ready to quit. You didn't,
Yeah.
but because no
I don't
one
know.
no one allowed you to.
Right.
though.
It was a couple semicolons in there a
Right.
couple times.
So did you find it difficult did you ever tell yourself, how am I preaching a certain thing? I'm over here trying to quit at the same time.
You know what? I'm going to be totally honest and tell
Okay.
you no. I didn't.
Okay.
For some reason, I find it, and I think most people are like that. They find themselves able to encourage others more than they're able
Oh, yeah.
to encourage themselves.
Absolutely.
So I didn't like, and you know my friend Amber.
Love
she,
her.
she tends to encourage me and be like, "Hey," and she'll just give me my words back, and I was like, "That's rude. That looks familiar." But you just gonna send me my words to me?
Yes.
That's what we gonna do.
Yeah.
But that helped me. I did have people that were motivators that helped me, that were just kind of standing in the gap, sending me text messages every day. That helped me.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I realized, like, you know what, Kim, you can do this. And I would look every day, because I went through a depression. I really did. I really
Absolutely.
did. After losing my job, I'm re-diagnosed. It's like, it felt like my world
How much
was
weight are you gonna put on me right now?
Listen.
Yes, I understand.
And then I'm sitting here, and I felt like I was doing it alone. It's amazing how you can have all these people around you, and then you feel totally alone. And that's how I felt. Even though I knew people were praying for me, even though I knew people had my back, I felt alone. I was like, I'm in this by myself, even though I'm not. But when I go into the radiation room, I'm by myself. I'm in this small layer by myself. So now I'm looking back on things, and I'm so thankful, and I'm so
Yeah.
grateful. And I just try to encourage people just to keep moving, not to stop. And I realized, like, when I started looking at my book again, because I was like, okay, restored, I'm going to be restored again.
Yes, yes.
And I started looking at it. I was like, did I write that?
You did.
Did I do that?
Yes.
And so it's amazing, like, when you start looking at yourself. And so I just started encouraging myself.
So when are we gonna do a part 2?
What? A part 2 of what?
The book. You have amazing, but how long have the book been out now?
Well, I wrote the book when I was 40.
Okay, so
So
now
4
we
years.
40-ish. Okay, we're 40-ish.
Right.
And
right.
a lot of life
But
has
fabulous,
happened. Who? What? A lot of life has happened to you right now.
Right, in that little bit of time.
You know, in a little bit of time.
Yeah.
And
So does that mean you're going to co-author a book with me? Do the people want to know? Because because she said I should, and I'm just saying she looks like she could do this. I mean, she's so smart. She's wonderful. She's well-spoken. I believe that you should write a book with me. So you're saying you haven't been on a journey at all? No journeys for you? I'm the only one on
I
a
don't know
journey?
how this has
I'm the only one
turned.
on a... I'm the only one on the...
I don't even understand how this has turned.
What happened? Hoover. What's going on? Bueller.
Bueller. Bueller.
Anyone?
If you want me to, I will.
I think we should.
Okay.
I think that would be a great collaboration.
Okay. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay, so don't be lying. The people hear you. Y'all hear her, right?
Janae, let me tell you about first. Let me pause. Thank you, everyone who's on our Facebook Live chiming in, because y'all are enjoying this. Everyone that we know, Janae Strickland Nunn, Kamisha,
Okay,
Tamara's out there. My brother's on here.
Awesome.
Debbie.
Hey guys.
A lot of people are on here, so thank you so much for tuning in and hearing Kim's story. And the pressure, she just put some pressure on me.
It wasn't really pressure. It was just a placement.
Some pressure. It's a lot, but I need that in my life. I appreciate it.
And we're gonna do it.
We're gonna do, because I really feel that you have your YouTube channel up, and I think I watch it, and I think it's great because you're being so transparent, and you're trying to be there for everyone else. But I really feel that you could go the next level and you've already written one. Go ahead and write another one.
Well, you know what? We're going to do it together. And so what's going to happen is we're going to encourage each other. It's always something about, when you're able to, that checks and balances. And so I just love the fact that you agreed to this. And this is what's going to make our 2020 amazing. Look how we're going to go into this 2020, winning together. I think that's it. That's it. Yes. What's happening?
It's a lot. I need something a little bit stronger than this.
Winning together.
I mean, my transparency is a journey, is a true journey, because I don't think anyone wants to hear what I have to say.
That's not
true.
And
I'm being totally honest. And
why do people see? The thing is, I felt the same way. But when I wrote the book, I realized that I wanted to do something different. Right. So when I decided I was going to write the book, I was like, I done had backyard barbecues, I done pop bottles, I've done all these different things, and I want to do something different. So I said, I'm gonna write a book. And I was like, nobody wants this book, but I'm going to write it. I was surprised people wanted
and we can still get the book, right?
You can still get the book.
And it's really through your website?
Yes.
Amazon?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
On them platforms,
the platform. So we have your website in the description. And it's up right now. Everyone's
JustKim.org. We are organization.
Listen, I was like, not .com? .org.
.org.
Yes. And I think you really should tell your story. It's a different layer.
Right. And I'm glad that you are willing to tell the story with me. That's what makes it amazing. When you have friends that are able and willing to tell a story with you, that's what makes it amazing. So I love that. And then just being connected to educated people. I love
my brother. He's like, I've never seen my sister speechless. He is eating this up right now. He is.
Well, I'm shy.
Oh. I'm shy also, though.
Well, but you know what? You're beautiful and shy, and we're going to work this together. This is a wonderful. I've had such a wonderful experience with you on today.
I can't stand you right now. I can't stand you right now. But no, honestly, I really think, all jokes aside.
Okay. I'm not joking about
what
this
you
book,
had
though.
to say in your YouTube and what you post every day, just on social media alone, is an encouragement. And I really feel that the little that you said today, you really opened our eyes up to insurance situations.
Yes, Lord.
I think someone said that's why she has cancer insurance, just in case, something like that.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah.
Reading that fine print, asking questions, not just taking your doctor's word for it or the referral's word, like, no, y'all need to communicate. Do I really need these things?
Right.
And also, not to be so tender and not listen to someone telling you that hard, you need to do this.
Yeah. And I mean, the other thing for me, it's an emotional battle. Like when I went through the radiation and I met with the financial team, and the financial team is telling me, hey, well, you know what? Everything is going to be great. Just wanted to let you know that your copay is $100 a day. It's $100 a day. Now, I'm not a mathematician, but I'm going 5 days a week. Okay? So that's $500 a week times 7. I don't know, job. So that being the case, also don't be afraid to talk to the hospital and their financials, and because they actually have programs out there that will work with you, that you're gonna get your treatment. And that's what they will tell you. But what happens, because we have fear, we don't go the extra mile and go ahead and get our
that
treatment
fear
done.
and pride will eat you
Yes.
alive, because you have to ask for help.
They even have Medicaid for cancer.
And
If you have cervical cancer or breast cancer, they have Medicaid for you if you fall under a certain monetary status.
Mm-hmm.
You can get Medicaid for breast cancer and cervical. I'm serious. It's out there. You can get it.
You have to ask those questions.
You have to ask those questions.
And I think, you can't let yourself, even though you try to get yourself, be discouraged.
Yeah.
And it's easy because it's your body. It's your life. It's a lot going on. And feeling alone, feeling like that there's no one there. Because I get it. I understand. Even though you can have 100 people around you.
That's right.
I understand what you're saying when you say I felt totally alone. You know what I mean? Because I have those moments, and I'm not even going through what you're going through, and I have those moments, and I understand those moments. And no matter how much you talk to people, they're around you, you just really feel alone, and then you feel bad feeling alone because you're like, I know I'm not the only one going through this. So why am I feeling sorry for myself right now? But you have a right to feel sorry for yourself for a moment. But you have to pick yourself back up though too.
Right.
And push through.
Right.
And ask questions. If you need help, it's okay to say I ain't got it. And who can help me get it?
Listen.
It's okay to say, well, what you have, because that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And that means so many people go untreated for so many things.
Yes.
Because the insurance is at this point. Then you have the copay. Then you have these. It's like, I'm just not going to worry about it. Or if you're a family person where mom and dad, like, we can't worry about me. Let's take care of the kids.
That's right.
And you die of all these ailments.
I mean,
you put everyone else ahead of yourself.
The first time that I was diagnosed with cervical cancer, they called me and said that $1,900 copay in 2018. I had a total breakdown, and I told the lady, I told her, I said, hey, I'll just leave the cancer inside of me. I don't have that. I did. I said, I'll just take it with me. Because I don't have it.
You can't have it.
You know what?
Right.
There's nothing I can do.
Right.
And she was like, well, we'll work with you. It's like, okay. Because a lot of times we will clam up, we will stop. And I think that sometimes we don't realize that. So we see those fundraisers where people are asking for money and for assistance. And we think that they're, hey, you got insurance. Why are they even saying that? These copays are real, honey. Yeah. They are real.
Or the judgment comes along where, how you need something? I see you vacationing and I see you doing all these things. What you mean you ain't got it? Listen, I ain't got it. Like,
right. I don't have $1,900.
I don't have that. I can't give up $500 every week.
That part.
That's $2,000 a month. I can't do this.
I can't do it.
I can't. So don't judge what I was doing beforehand. Now I'm sick and I can't do it.
I need your help.
I pop bottles with you, so come help me.
So come help us outside. I put 3 bottles on the table. You can't help me. Listen.
Yeah.
It's real.
Yeah, it's real.
It's real. And so, I mean, getting back into being who I am is something that I'm a work in progress. So I'm enjoying.
So you're rediscovering yourself.
I am. I'm rediscovering myself. I'm learning my singleness and
as singleness and recovery.
Yeah.
It's a new story to tell.
And see, it's very interesting. So I'm trying to get used to that, and because it's weird. People are weird. You and I have had that conversation.
That's a whole show.
Yeah, that all by itself. I'll watch y'all do that next time. But
you'll be on that one too.
Oh, Jesus Christmas.
Yeah, you coming on that one.
But it's so different. So learning how to do this and learning to be who I am, and then on top of that, continuing to be an encouragement to others. So I love who I am. I love what I do. And I just want to continue to be an encouragement to those that are around me. So I want you to feel different when you're in my presence. I want you to be happy when you're in my presence. I want you to feel like you can come and you can talk to me, and you can feel more knowledgeable and know what's going on about you, but then also know that I'm not judging you. If you're going through something, we can go through it together.
And you have I think we forget, and I forget myself, and I don't realize it until someone has to remind me how far your reach has gone. and you don't realize how many people that you may not even know
Right.
feel your energy and are encouraged by you.
Right.
And I just want to encourage you to keep doing that, and
Thank
to
you.
be that beacon of light, and be that wisdom, and that, that honesty of, this is a real situation. I've been through this. I've come through it 2 times.
That's
Life
right.
happened in the middle of it. I'm still going through those things.
Right.
And it's a new beginning, it's a rebirth. And I really,
Yes.
I encourage you to keep telling your story, and can still be you, and be that beautiful person that you are. You have no idea how much we all care about you,
I love
and
it. Thank you.
seeing your journey, and seeing what you're going through, and like, want to hear about it, because I'm telling you, you have helped so many people today. You have helped us say, let me look a little deeper.
Listen, please.
Yeah,
please do it.
And
do it for you.
And you'll work
Do
on
it for
your
you.
book.
Oh, work on our book.
And
I haven't, and I don't want to have to call you out. I don't want to have to do.
Because you will.
I will.
You will.
I will.
You
so I don't want
will.
to, these are the things that I don't want to do. So I don't want to call you out. I don't want to make large posts saying, where is Erlene? I don't want to do that. Okay. So I'm going to give you a pause. I'm going to give you a couple of weeks. We're going to go, I'm going to let you get through November. December 1st, we're going to start talking about what we're going to do as far as this book is concerned. So we're not going to just act like this didn't happen and it wasn't recorded. Okay? Because if you act confused, I will send links to you. You've let everybody know that you're on all these platforms. And so I follow you, and I will bring this to you and show you at what the minute mark where you said that you were going to do it.
I want to say thank you to everyone for I love you so much.
I love you
and
more.
We'll do it, definitely. So please, I want to say thank you for coming on.
You're
and
welcome.
sharing your story, and sharing your journey, and being who you are. Let me tell you something. When I met Kim, it wasn't even face to face. We a mutual friend of ours had a tragedy, and I was like, what can I do? And I set up some things, whatever. And you were like, hey, I'm Kim. Hey, I'm Arlene.
Right.
Okay. And you saw my name on a post. I'm like, this is what I'm doing. I can't get there, but here's some money. I got some people sending money. Boom, boom, boom. And ever since then, it has never been, who are you? What's going on? It's always been love. And I rarely have that with people that I instantly like, and that I gel with, and you get me, I get you. So
right.
And it's been the same ever since. And I thoroughly enjoy having your friendship. I really do. And we're gonna grow more in our friendship.
We are, especially with this book.
We have a book to write. I just had a pain hit my neck.
It's okay.
Right here.
Just type with your left hand.
I can't stand it. So thank you so much for coming on.
You're
Thank you so
welcome.
much for sharing. Please let everyone know where they can find you and your book and all those things.
Well, you can find me on social media, Kimberly Ann. That's on Facebook. Mm-hmm. So now I will be random on Facebook, but hey, it is what it is. I am Just Kim. Mm-hmm. So you can find Just Kim 2, the number 2, on Facebook as well. And then I have Just Kim Listens. That is my IG. And what else do I have, Arlene?
YouTube?
My website.
Yeah.
My website, justkim.org.
Mm-hmm,
I have a YouTube channel.
Yes, that you're documenting your journey.
My journey, which I need to update, but you allowed me to express today, which I hadn't had the energy to do the last update or whatever. So I appreciate you. Yeah. So I think sometimes we don't realize how we actually gel and need one another. Yes. And so this shows that part, which has allowed me to show my friends and family based on your platform. They are able to see my journey and how my journey ended. Yes. So I appreciate you.
And you're always thank you. And you're always welcome. You're always welcome. Whatever you have going on, just say, hey. And I'm like, okay, well, come on, let's do this.
Okay.
When you have your book when our book come out.
Oh, right, because you're misspeaking now.
Let me not misspeak.
Okay. It's okay because I'm willing to correct you.
But thank you. So find Kim, Just Kim on YouTube. and she's chronicling her journey from treatment.
Right.
Her website, justkim.org, Facebook, Instagram, just Kim Listens.
Right.
And then Facebook is Kimberly Ann. You're
Right.
everywhere.
Right.
And
right.
on all those platforms, she is discussing her journey. She's being very encouraging. Always an
And then y'all
inspirational
can ask me
word.
questions if you I know, because sometimes I've had people that just like what you were saying, when you're uncomfortable, so you don't want to ask
Yeah.
questions,
Yeah.
you can always inbox me for questions in reference to cervical cancer. Don't
Listen.
inbox me, talk about, hey,
Keep it classy. Don't no. It's not open for business like that.
listen.
Not
That's why
open for
Just
business.
Kim listens.
Just listen.
So, if you have questions as in reference to cervical cancer, those type of things, you can contact me. Don't say, hey, boo, pumpkin, you sexy, can I meet you? Spooky, stalker. Don't do it.
Stranger danger.
That part. But again, thank you so much. You are awesome, amazing, and fantastic. I appreciate you.
Thank you. You're making me blush. Stop it. Stop
Okay,
it.
my
I
bad.
don't want
I'll
all
be
that
quiet.
attention on me like that. Stop it.
I'm
Stop it.
sorry.
Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in today. This has been an experience. I have assignments.
That's right.
Didn't know it would end this way. That I have homework assignments that I'm going to have to because it's documented.
Yeah.
It's out there.
Yes.
And I'll have more than one accountability partner, clearly, from what I'm seeing. So please, after this show, follow me on Facebook at Shall We Proceed Podcast with Elise Main. Instagram is Shall We Proceed Podcast as well. Twitter is Shall We Proceed. I'm everywhere. But to get this show on audio or video, it's going to be on YouTube. I am on Apple, Spotify, Google, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio. You can go to my website at shyproceed.com, and all my links are there. You can get my merchandise as well, some T-shirts, some cups, some stuff. I got merch.
Yes.
Got merch.
Yes.
Got merch.
I'm going to give me a T-shirt.
I mean, can you do something?
Yeah, I'll do it.
And pretty
I'll do
soon I'm going to have a book out. I didn't know.
Yes. Come on, book.
I had no idea.
Yes.
Stay tuned for that. I will see all of you next week. Episode number 18. I close out October, which is all about surviving something. And I had some awesome survivors this month. And Kim, I love that you ended it and rounded it out for me. But we start November of thankfulness. And I have on November the 5th at 7 p.m., my family, my siblings, my brother Tony, sister Terry, my brother Donahue will be on talking about thankfulness and lessons that we learned from our mother and what we're thankful for, and just family dynamic is going to be next week. So
It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be interesting. Lord Jesus, it's going to be interesting. But please, thank you so much for everyone tuning in and supporting me and following the show. I have Patreon as well if you want to help with a little bit of change. A little bit of money is great.
Yes.
Keep the party going. So once again, thank you for everyone for tuning in. I love you all. See you next week. Later. Can't stand you.